This segment is sponsored by Ascend Agency. Nan, it is so lovely to have you on this show, and I think we're going to talk about something really important because I think a lot of people are dealing with this. And our topic today is workplace bullying. How rampant of a problem is this, in your opinion?
It's very rampant. It actually affects 32% of workers in the office, 51% of hybrid workers, and the people who witness it are also affected. So that affects about 50% of the workers at the workplace.
So let's talk about workplace bullying. How would you define this? It seems like it could be a gray term, but I'm sure there are specifics to identify if this is happening.
Yes, a lot of people confuse workplace bullying with conflict, but in fact, conflict is generally about goals or the perceived tensions over an issue, or they're about perception of interference, whereas workplace bullying is really an ongoing, constant level of abuse that keeps accelerating, and it's generally by one powerful person picking on a person who's less powerful.
Are there any examples that you could give of this? Because I'm sure a lot of people at home probably think they've gone through this, but are there any specific examples?
Well, that's a good question because, in fact, that is a question I still receive the most. Am I being bullied? Because a lot of it starts out very subtle as a way of challenging your boundaries or seeing how far somebody could push you, but it doesn't stop from there. So it could be about sabotage. It can be about people talking behind your back and ruining your reputation. It can be really overt, like people screaming at you and throwing things at you, causing you to overwork. You know, finding errors that aren't really there, and just in general making your day a mess. And it's constant, so it doesn't happen just once, it happens continuously.
And this is so much more than just, an uncomfortable situation at work. This is having really severe impacts on people's mental health and the brain. What are you seeing? Because you've studied this for a long time.
Well, generally, when I work as a support coach, I have to just let people run out and talk for a while because nobody's listening to them about the abuse that they're receiving. And it is pretty damaging because people are confused by why it's going on. They can't sleep. They believe what's being said to them about what horrible workers they are, and usually this affects the most competent worker in the unit or the department. So people end up with suicidal ideation, and there is brain damage. Your brain is directly affected by the fact that there's cortisol that's going off, and your amygdala is being um, challenged all the time to protect yourself, and so people do end up in very sick and places because the stress causes allergies, causes heart attacks. I had a client just recently who had what they call broken heart syndrome. She had it right in front of me, and I had to say, "You need to go to the hospital now." And that's how the doctor diagnosed her broken heart.
What are some of the steps we can take if somebody is being victimized at work or really just struggling? What can we do to improve the situation?
Well, actually, if you see somebody being victimized at work, just letting them know that you see that is a big step, because what happens mostly to workers who are bullied is that their support groups fall away. They think, if I step into this mess, I'm going to get bullied too. And that may be, I have to warn people, that may happen, but most often it's projected at one person. And so the person who is being bullied does need to find support as soon as they possibly can. And going to HR is not always the best option, but documenting everything that happens to you is incredibly important, because if you're going to file a complaint with HR, or if you're going to hire an attorney later, they're going to want all these details, and they're going to want you to generate a timeline of the abuse.
And you personally are a great resource. You've penned multiple books, you've done in depth studies. If somebody wants to get in touch with you or get a copy of your book or learn more, what can they do?
Well, the books are on Amazon.com, and I just finished writing one called How and Why to Tell Your Bullying Story, to help people, because there is cognitive issues that come up when you're being bullied, and it's difficult to think through that. Um, but you can also reach me at my website, which is essentialbusinessbehaviors.com, all one word.
Okay, wonderful, Nan. We are out of time for today. We'd love to have you back because this is a very interesting, important conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
This segment is sponsored by Ascend Agency.